Can you say go?
Go.
Oh. Hi, Mr. Ratton. Today I'm going to be interviewing you about the use of technology in human resources.
Okay.
So how long have you been the administrator over human resources?
3 years.
Okay. And how often do you need to use a computer for overseeing the human resources?
Yeah, well, I gotta find applicants. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Applicants have to apply online. And then when I receive notice that they've applied, then I look for them on the system or in the system. Then I use the system to send them an email or to get their information so I can see if they're qualified and to make a phone call if I want them to come in for an interview. We also use a program called HireView, which allows an applicant to do an interview online that I can just watch. They have some preset questions that they can answer and some information they can give me. And I can actually see, I see a video of them as well as their responses. And then I can evaluate them from that if I choose to. Like if they're from out of state or even out of the country, they can do it online, either using their phone, their tablet, or their computer, anything with a camera. So I use it frequently, in other words.
What's the name of that database?
That's called HireView.
Okay.
It's not just for education. It's any corporation use it. The district has chosen to use it for that purpose. Then of course we use SearchSoft to actually compile the information together.
Okay. So how is the district human resources office involved in that process? Or is it just straight from candidate to you as the assistant principal?
Well, everything is sent to human resources from whenever they upload like their transcripts or their resume and their application is all done through human resources. That website is checked by human resources and then it's downloaded for me to be able to see it. I don't know the length of time that takes for it from when they submit it to where it shows up for me to call them. But it's the process in between point A and point B.
Okay. And is there any other human resources data that you have to track like throughout the year besides applications?
No, not normally, no. I mean, but like I said, if an applicant has sent in their information, I can call their references from that. It provides me everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from the interests of the individuals, like if they want to be a softball coach or something, or if they want to be special ed or whatever. I see all of that. And so, like I said, I can see their interests and determine, and it also allows them to put in their philosophies, towards education and to what they're wanting to. So again, there's really nothing tracking-wise for me to do, but that is maintained. I can see it throughout the year.
Okay, so besides applicants, what else falls under the human resources umbrella? Does Invest go under that? Are you over that as well?
No, I'm not the Invest person. We actually are all part of Invest. Dr. Watson, the building principal, would be over Invested, holistically, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But each of us are assigned individuals that we supervise through the year, and we observe and give them feedback on how things are going.
Okay, but just to clarify, as the administrator over human resources, that just has to do with applicants and hiring process?
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much filling vacancies and people who have to leave during the school year for personal reasons and all that. Like they didn't get a coaching position that they thought they should have gotten or something, that type of deal.
Right. So how were you trained to use that technology?
Well, part of it was just thrown into it, but Human Resources actually sent over one of their directors who sat with all of us and gave us a tutorial that we were able to manipulate and play with while he was directing us on how to find information and how to search for candidates. So they actually did a good job of getting us used to it, but then you don't get real familiar with a program until you actually get in and start using it.
Okay, so is the program very user-friendly? Do you like it, or?
Yeah, I think so. I do like it. I don't know what else is out there. I know for the needs that we have on this campus, I think it does a really good job. And it allows the HireView to be attached directly to the SearchSoft, so we can actually use both programs in one. So I think it works really well.
Okay. Is there personnel available to provide support if you need it for the system?
No, normally I'm not aware that there is. There probably is, but on my level, because I'm just a user, I usually just call human resources if there's a question about something I don't understand. But as far as using it, it's fairly self-explanatory. It's either the information is either there or it's not. I mean, there's some personal information that I don't have the right to see, and so I may not be able to see everything for that reason. So I'm sure there's more to it than what I'm able to see. So I just call somebody and they take care of it for me.
Okay, so you said you've been over human resources for 3 years, but I know that you have some experience in education before that.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a benefit is it to be able to pre-screen candidates through this application rather than doing it all face-to-face?
Well, due to our clientele, our student population, I know that if a class is potentially going to, it's kind of hard to answer that question without being unpolitically correct, but basically I can get a feel for the individual's personality through what I see, and if I think that he or she may not be a good fit, then it gives me precise questions to come up with to determine that for sure. I don't want to be presumptuous and wind up not giving somebody an opportunity, so by seeing this, I can tailor my interview to fit the class situation as well as the candidate situation. So it's kind of a nice setup, especially the higher view. Allows me to see them in advance and get an idea of their demeanor. If they have a strong personality versus a weak personality. If it's a class like IPC or something, in which we might need a softball coach or something to be able to help us out in that room, that's pretty handy. So that way I know that it's a coaching standpoint that would be nice and useful.
Okay. So you'd say that it saves a lot of time and money to be able to see that.
Well, that way I know what I'm getting into when I call them in too, and I can be more direct with and more targeted with my interview. That's how I would sum that up if I had to.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for the interview. We really appreciate getting your feedback on how you use technology with the human resources.
You want to see it?
Yes.
Turn on that monitor. See, now this is all jobs that are available to our campus, and it lists them by whatever they are. Here's clerical, this is an ESL teacher, paraprofessional, etc. Parking lot attendant, Spanish teacher. And whichever one I choose, whichever one it needs to be, let's say I go with the parking lot attendant. I can click on that, and it also gives me a searching database as well. And there's my little help thing. But it shows me all the individuals who have applied for the position, as well as their phone numbers, if they're eligible new, or if they've already been recommended, when did they apply. And it's really simple to use. Like I said, if I just pick on somebody, I can do that, or I can just preview it real quick, their application, like I did for this candidate here. And then it'll come up, takes a few seconds. Maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. It's not like a softball game in which it goes really quick. But anyhow, so you see here, I can see what they're interested in. They're looking for a paraprofessional position. It allows me to view their attachments. So it's a real quick way to be able to look at their information. There's phone numbers, address, colleges attended, general employment history, employment preferences. There I get an idea of what they're looking for. Gives me an idea of if they're highly qualified or not, if they're multilingual. Here's their references. See here, it tells me real quick, 1's pending, but 3 of them have been returned, so this person's probably good to go. And here's some additional information, like I have over 10 years experience in my teaching, blah, blah, blah. And it just continues.